So, the next topic that I want to talk about, which I think is an incredibly important topic before you start calling, is the frame of mind that you're in. It's going to be incredibly important that when you decide that you're going to focus on being in the sales business, that you understand, as I mentioned before, there are ebbs and flows in the business. And as a result, if you allow yourself to go down a negative path, because of the results you're getting or not getting that you would hope for, you could end up going into a very negative mindset. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, you could end up going into a negative mindset, and you want to be very protective of not going there. So, one of the things that I always tell my team is that when you do feel that you're going to start behaving negatively, or you've been hung up a few too many times for the day, or you just lost a client to another agent, or somebody backed out of a sale, I mean, for whatever variety of reasons that there is that you could go down a negative mindset, I want you to take a break. Not a long break. I'm talking about 3 to 5 minutes. And what I normally do myself in this position is I'll open up YouTube and I'll go and I'll try to find something positive to watch, some type of affirmation, or some type of video that's gonna really try to reamp me, recharge me, so that I can remember why I'm doing this in the first place. It's important for you to know your why, know why you're doing this, so that whenever you get derailed, you refocus on that reason and you get ready to take charge and go back at it. And so, with that, the next thing that I really want you to focus on is having confidence. Because here's the thing, if you call people and you're having conversations with seniors on the phone and you sound like you don't know what you're doing, you sound unsure of yourself, it will come across to the client. And guess what? Clients don't want to work with people who are unsure of themselves. Clients don't want to give bank information, social security numbers, Medicare ID numbers to people who are unsure of themselves. They want to work with people who feel confident and who sound confident and who are advisors, because that's what you are. You are an advisor. And so it is up to you to let the consumer know what the next steps are. Whenever you're talking to somebody about what you're doing and what you can do for them, you have to sound confident and let them know you're the advisor and this is how things go. And that's going to be important for the next steps in the next following videos that I talk about, to understand your role as the advisor and your role as the one who mandates what happens next. Because people in general want to be sold. They don't necessarily want to buy all the time, but they need to be sold, because at the end of the day, all right, people will buy off emotion and then justify with logic. They buy off emotion and justify with logic. And that's why you'll see me in the next videos pointing out certain things, because it's going to deal with how to make this normal, educational, possibly dull process more than just that, more than informational. It's going to make it emotional. It has to be. It has to be emotional, because that's the only way that you can get people to actually commit to doing something today. Otherwise, they'll continue to put it off until the very last minute, and we don't want that. We want to make sure that if we get the chance to talk to them on the phone, that our confidence comes through on the phone, so that we can continue towards a sale of that very same call. It won't always work that way, but the more confident you sound and the more you follow the steps that I'm going to outline in the following videos, the more likely you will have a one-call close whenever you get somebody on the phone. But remember, it's still a numbers game, and you still sometimes will have to reach out at least 5 to 12 times before you get somebody on the phone to talk to. That's just statistics. That's the way it is. It's the way it's always been. There are certain ways that we can try to maybe shorten that a little bit, but that's still the way it works. And that's why you see that when people buy leads, a lot of times they give up way too easily. In fact, one of my top agents here in the office, the majority of his sales this month have been from aged leads, meaning that they've been contacted at least 8 to 12 times, and now he's going to attempt to contact them 8 to 12 times, but he's getting him on the phone finally, and he's writing business off of that. That's the money is there. There's gold in those older leads. So that's why I'm telling people, don't give up so easily, because that's what the majority of people, and that's what the majority of agents will do, is they'll try 3 times maybe and be done. And it's funny, I actually put it to the test myself. I actually tried to apply for auto insurance online the other day, and I just wanted to see how many times somebody would call me. So far at 4. I'm at 4. I'm just trying to see how much they'll actually call me in the P&C market with this broker that I reached out to. But it's true. That's how we're set up. We're set up to try to contact 8 to 12 times before we consider that lead no good. And even then, we then pass it off to another team who's going to still try to get in touch with somebody and transfer them over back to an agent once they get someone on the phone. And so there's a lot of money in those leads that are old. And so we like to go back and try to make something of it when no one else is. But be confident. When you're calling people, you have to sound confident. You have to know what you're, what you're doing there, what you're doing as your role and as an advisor. And so that'll be outlined here shortly, and you'll be able to be confident in what you're doing and what you're saying. But keep that in mind when you're making these phone calls. Do not sound like you don't know what you're doing, and do not sound like you're unsure of yourself. Okay. I know they don't like the terms. People don't like to hear fake it till you make it. And it's not that you're trying to fake it till you make it. You go through this university, through this training at least 3 or 4 times before you start making calls, so that you feel confident that you understand the jargon better. Plus, with the tools we give you in the university and the outlines we can give you to help walk you through how to do a presentation, all these things combined should make you a formidable force in terms of being an amazing agent, so that you can do your part as an advisor whenever you have someone on the phone. So just keep that in mind. Stay confident when you're talking to people, because people don't want to buy from starving agents. They want to buy from hungry agents. Okay. One thing I wanted to add real quick. If you're wondering how to get confidence when you don't have it, do it like this in terms of how to sound confident. A trick that I always tell my agents is this: think about something that you are actually really passionate about right now in life. That could be anything. I'll give you an example. One of the agents that works here, his passion is guitars. Loves guitars, loves playing the guitars, loves getting lessons on guitars, loves to learn new songs, new scales, new everything, right? Guitars are his passion. And so I said, okay, great. Now that I know that guitars are your passion, let me ask you a question. What is your favorite guitar? And so he goes off and tells me what his favorite guitar is. And I said, okay, now why is it your favorite guitar? And he goes off and he lists all these reasons why. And I said, great. I said, the way you said that to me though, listen to how you sounded. You sounded confident, like you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were talking about because this is something you're passionate about. That tone in your voice, that confidence, that's how you need to sound when you're talking to seniors about Medicare. Become confident enough in this product, believe enough in this product. And I said, in fact, put yourself in their shoes and say, if it was you who had to make a decision, which type of insurance would you want and why? So if that's Medicare supplements, why would you want a Medicare supplement? And that's another exercise that I frequently do with my agents, is I make them tell me why they would want a Medicare supplement. And then from there, basically go on and tell them about how to say it. Because again, once they understand it, and once they kind of put themselves in the senior shoes and understand what kind of insurance it is, then they're going to sound more passionate about it. And that's what you need to convey when you're on the phone, that tone and that passion about the product and how it can help them and save them money and save them in the long run and prevent a catastrophe of medical proportions, from happening because they don't have, or financial proportions because they don't have the right type of coverage. I mean, that's where the passion comes from for these products, so that you can convey that to them. Because at the end of the day, you need to become emotional. They need to become emotional, because people buy off emotion and justify with logic. Okay? See you in the next video.